When disaster strikes, you have 3 hours in bad weather before exposure can kill you. So, the first survival pillar is shelter. Imagine a scenario where the grid has collapsed and you're in the middle of nowhere. The wind howls around you, the temperature is dropping rapidly, and night is falling. What do? The first thing on your mind should be finding or creating a shelter. Shelter is not just about having a roof over your head, it's about protecting you from the elements. Be it the scorching sun, a torrential downpour, or a biting cold wind. It's about keeping you warm, dry, insulated, and hidden. It's about providing a safe space where you can rest, recuperate, and plan your next move. The type of shelter you need depends on your setting. If you're in an urban area, you might seek refuge in a building or vehicle. In a rural setting, a barn or shed could serve as a temporary haven. In the wilderness, you'd need to use natural resources like trees and rocks or even snow to build a shelter. Staying warm and dry is paramount. Hypothermia can set in quickly, especially in wet and cold conditions, and it can be deadly. You'd need to insulate your shelter with materials that trap heat like leaves, grass, or even your own clothes. A fire can offer warmth and a way to cook food and purify water, but remember, it can also give away your location. Staying hidden is just as crucial. In a post-collapse world, drawing attention to yourself could attract unwelcome visitors. Your shelter should blend in with its surroundings, camouflage to the untrained eye. Whether you're bugging in at home or on the move, your shelter should be a priority. It's your first line of defense against the harsh realities of survival. It's your sanctuary, your fortress, your lifeline. So when you're planning your survival strategy, remember this. The first S in survival is for shelter. It's not just about a place to sleep, it's about protection, warmth, stealth, and security. Remember, your shelter is your first line of defense against the elements. Make it a priority. Without calories and clean water, your body and brain shut down fast. The second survival pillar is sustenance. In the world of survival, sustenance is non-negotiable. It's not just about having a pantry filled to the brim with canned goods or a garage stacked with bottled water. It's about understanding the life-sustaining power of calories and clean water and how they fuel your body and brain to keep you going when everything else stops. Now let's break it down. Food storage is essential, yes, but it's not the end of the story. You also need a well-thought-out plan for rotation and rationing. Why? Because even the most plentiful food supply can run out if not managed properly. Rotation ensures that your food doesn't expire unnoticed, and rationing helps you make the most of what you have, especially during prolonged periods of scarcity. But what about when your stockpile runs dry? That's where production strategies come into play. Whether it's hunting, foraging, or growing your food, having a long-term plan for maintaining your food supply is critical. Water, on the other hand, is a different ballgame. Sure, you can store it, but what happens when your supply runs out? You need a plan for accessing clean, safe water. Maybe it's a nearby stream, a well, or a rain collection system. Whatever it is, make sure it's reliable and sustainable. Now, bringing it all together, you need a system that integrates food storage, water access, and long-term growing strategies. A system that not only ensures you have enough to eat and drink today, but guarantees your survival tomorrow. So, don't just stockpile, don't just hoard. Build a system that feeds your survival, nourishes your body, and fuels your mind. Because when it comes to survival, sustenance is not just about eating and drinking. It's about nourishing your body, fueling your brain, and ultimately feeding your survival. Remember, your survival depends on how well you feed it. Plan your sustenance wisely. Injuries, illness, and bad decisions kill more people in a collapse than bullets. The third survival pillar is safety. When you're trying to survive, the last thing you want is to be sidelined by an injury or illness. The dangers of a post-collapse world are plentiful, but you'd be surprised how many of them can be mitigated with a little foresight and basic medical knowledge. First, let's talk about first aid. It's not just about slapping a Band-Aid on a cut. It's about knowing how to diagnose and treat common injuries and illnesses, and when to seek professional medical help. You'd be surprised at how much you can do with basic first aid training. It's a skill that's easy to learn, and it could save your life, or the life of someone you love. But avoiding injuries and illnesses in the first place is even better. That means being mindful of your surroundings and taking precautions to prevent accidents. It could be as simple as wearing the right protective gear when you're doing manual labor, or as complex as knowing how to navigate a potentially dangerous situation. And let's not forget about overexertion. In a survival situation, there's a temptation to push yourself to your limits, but overexertion is a silent killer. It can lead to injuries, illnesses, and even death. It's crucial to listen to your body and take breaks when you need them. It's better to be slow and steady than fast and broken. Staying healthy isn't just about avoiding injuries and illnesses, it's also about taking care of your mental health. Stress, anxiety, and depression can be just as dangerous as any physical ailment. It's important to have strategies for managing stress and maintaining your mental well-being. The importance of safety in a survival situation cannot be overstated. It's not just about avoiding danger. It's about making sure you're in the best possible condition to face whatever challenges come your way. It's about staying upright, staying healthy, and staying alive. Remember, safety is paramount. Without it, you're not surviving anything. You can't fight off sickness without hygiene. The fourth survival pillar is sanitation. In a post-collapse world, our everyday luxuries like running water and flushing toilets quickly become a memory of the past. But just because the world as we know it has changed, doesn't mean our need for cleanliness and sanitation has too. Let's start with waste management. When the plumbing system fails, you need to have a plan. Disposing of human waste improperly can lead to diseases like cholera and typhoid. A simple solution is to have a designated latrine area away from your living quarters and water source. Dig a hole about 3 feet deep and use it as a toilet. After each use, cover the waste with soil to reduce smell and keep flies away. Laundry is another aspect of sanitation that can't be ignored. Dirty clothes can harbor bacteria and parasites, which can lead to skin infections and other health issues. If you don't have access to a washing machine, you can hand wash your clothes using a bucket, water, and soap. Rinse thoroughly and let them dry in the sun, which has a natural sanitizing effect. Disease prevention is the third key element of sanitation. Without access to medical facilities, keeping yourself healthy becomes even more important. Hand washing is one of the simplest and most effective ways to prevent disease. Make sure you have enough soap and water stored up or know how to make your own. Also consider items like hand sanitizer, disinfectants, and personal hygiene products. Finally, let's address the elephant in the room: pests. Rats, flies, and mosquitoes can spread disease and contaminate your food and water sources. Keeping your living area clean and sealed, storing food properly, and having a pest control plan in place are crucial steps to staying safe and healthy. Remember, proper sanitation is a lifesaver. Don't overlook it. In the harsh reality of survival, cleanliness truly is next to godliness. And in this case, godliness equates to survival. Desperate times bring desperate actions, and you'll need to be ready. The fifth survival pillar is security. Now, when we say security, it's not just about having a stockpile of guns and ammunition. Real security is about being unseen, unheard, and underestimated. Let's start with passive defense. This is all about minimizing your visibility and making your location less attractive to potential threats. It's about blending in, not standing out. The more unremarkable you seem, the fewer eyes you'll attract. Next, we have active defense. This is where you take direct action to protect yourself, your loved ones, and your resources. It could be as simple as reinforcing your shelter or as complex as setting up a perimeter. Being prepared to protect what's yours is a crucial aspect of survival. Early warning systems are another key element of security. These are measures you put in place to alert you of potential threats. It could be something as high-tech as a security camera or as low-tech as a string of cans. The goal is the same: to give you a heads up so you can respond accordingly. But the most important aspect of security is avoiding becoming a target in the first place. This is where the art of being unseen, unheard, and underestimated comes into play. Keep a low profile. Don't advertise your resources. Make others think you have less, not more. Remember, in a survival situation, the less attention you attract, the safer you are. If you can master the art of being invisible, you drastically reduce your chances of being a target. And if you do become a target, being underestimated can give you the upper hand. Security is a complex pillar of survival, but it's absolutely crucial. It's not just about the weapons you have, but about how you use them, and more importantly, how you avoid having to use them at all. Remember, security is more than just guns and ammo. It's about staying safe and out of sight. And in the end, the best defense is to avoid conflict altogether. Because when it comes to survival, the best fight is the one you never have to fight. Your survival depends on having a plan, backup plans, and knowing when to adapt. The final survival pillar is strategy. Think of strategy as the master blueprint of your survival mission. It's the big picture that guides your actions, decisions, and responses in a survival situation. And just like the blueprint of a building, it's critical to have everything well planned out before the storm hits. Having a survival strategy is more than just having a plan. It's about having multiple plans, contingency plans for when things go south, and the ability to adapt when the unexpected happens. Because let's face it, in a survival situation, the unexpected is the new normal. Consider this. What if you've planned to bug out, but your path is blocked or too dangerous? A good strategy includes alternative routes, and possibly even a plan to hunker down and wait it out. And what about bartering? Do you have goods to trade, and do you know the value of what you have? In a post-collapse world, money might not hold the same value, and bartering could become the new currency. And then there's the flexibility to switch tactics. Survival isn't a rigid, one-size-fits-all scenario. It's a dynamic, ever-changing challenge that requires quick thinking and adaptability. Your survival strategy should be like water, able to flow around obstacles and find the path of least resistance. Having a strategy also means knowing when to be proactive and when to be reactive. Sometimes the best way to survive is to lay low and avoid drawing attention. Other times, you might need to take decisive action to secure your safety. Here's the bottom line. Survival isn't just about being prepared, it's about being adaptable. It's about expecting the unexpected and being ready to change your plans at a moment's notice. And most importantly, it's about understanding that survival is a journey, not a destination. Remember, a good strategy is the glue that holds all other survival pillars together. Plan wisely, adapt quickly. These are the 6 S's of survival. Master these and you're well on your way to surviving anything. Shelter to protect from the elements, sustenance to keep your body and brain functioning, safety to avoid injuries and illnesses, sanitation to stay clean and healthy, security to protect from threats, and strategy, the glue that binds all these together. So which of the 6 S's are you strongest in, and which one do you still need to fix? Stay focused, stay quiet, stay alive.